I can't wait to test this one. What's up guys, this is Aaron from GearUP and welcome to today's episode, and boy am I glad to see you today. I have a feeling that some of you are here because you're Samsung fans, or B, you're up to date on the latest tech news and you know that a few weeks ago that the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus launched. Are these any good? Let's find out in a bit because TLDR, these things are pretty sweet. Let's find out more what I think after these messages. Let's do it. Today, let's shake things up a little bit and let me talk about the stuff I do not like about the Buds Plus first, because I think they're serious enough that if they're sticklers to you, you can basically skip the rest of the video. Or actually, you shouldn't because, or at least I hope you don't, because I've spent a lot of time working on this bloody video. One of my biggest gripes about these guys is for the second time in a row, Samsung has made them IPX2. You might as well not have any water resistance with a rating that low. I don't even dare to work out with confidence or even do my water splash test. It's either you have it or you don't at this point. So I hope the third generation fixes this. The competition has moved on, guys. Samsung, come on. So IPX2, not gonna work for me. If you recently had the chance to read the marketing material for the Buds Plus, you notice that Samsung says that these guys have multi-point Bluetooth connection. And what that means is basically you can connect to multiple devices at the same time and switch back and forth seamlessly, which is great and all, but it only works for Samsung devices only, the tablets and the phones, and it doesn't work for the other Android devices or iOS. So that's very Samsung-gnostic of Samsung, and shame on Samsung for Samsungizing this whole thing. So I'm going to be talking about the gesture controls of the Buds Plus in the positives later on in the show. But if you've seen enough of my episodes, you know that I do not like gesture controls in earbuds especially. In this case, every time I single, double, or triple tap them, they hurt my eardrums and it feels like I'm hammering them in deeper and deeper into my skull. It just doesn't feel right. So until they fix or come up with a new solution like radar controlled air gestures or something to control your tunes, it's a huge turn off for me. And maybe I just have wussy sissy ears. And maybe you don't, or maybe you do. Comment down below if you think I've wussy sissy ears. If you've been holding out for some kind of active noise cancellation or reduction in this generation, please look elsewhere because it's still passive noise reduction, as in you just have to get a good seal and rely on that, and that's it. So do not use this on the plane or any noisy environment by cranking the volume up and say you're fine, because that will hurt your ears, and that's not what these guys are made for. They're just made for your normal commutes, working out, or listening at home. So stick with that and don't hurt your ears. PSA. And wash your hands. In terms of price, I think $150 is a little bit too steep. It should belong in the $100 to $110 range where most of its competition lie. You want to match the feature set, and I think Samsung was thinking too high in terms of this is a premium product and we want you to buy something premium, but it doesn't have active noise cancellation. It's only IPX2. And sure, it has 11 hours of battery life, but its next closest competitors have like 8 to 9 hours and way more battery charge in the case. So it could stand to be in the $100 range, and even if it's in the magical $99, it would sell like hotcakes, but I feel like Samsung missed an opportunity here. I found another issue with these when one night I accidentally left these guys downstairs outside of the case, and I had my phone upstairs with me in my bedroom. And I got phone calls and I got notifications but never heard it, and I was wondering what was going on, what was happening. And then I did not realize these guys were connected to them the whole night. They don't power off, and I wish there was some way in the app or that Samsung would include in this built in that they do power off when no audio or nothing comes to them after a while. They should go to sleep or disconnect. But they were on the whole time. Let's take a closer look together at the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus, and today we're going to do it outdoors because it's a nice day out and thought just let's do it. Now right off the bat, in my palm you see how small and svelte these things are. It's one of the smallest on the market, mainstream at least, and this is a really nice fit in your hand, in your pocket, in your purse, in anything, it really feels good. In this color of blue, it really looks good. I chose this specifically because it looks different, it films better, and it comes in 4 different colors: black, white, bright red, and this blue. And all of them, let's take a look at the buds themselves up close. Whenever I pick up these earbuds, I can't help but be impressed by Samsung's decision, whether intentionally or not, to include a couple of features that really make it, at least to me, stand out from the crowd. It's not a big canvas to work with, so I'm impressed even more by the stuff that they included. First is the pearlescent touchpad surface. It reminds me of the Samsung S10. I think it started with that, where they had that chromatic backing of the phone, and this kind of sort of reminds me of that, even though this is plastic and they tried their best, but it looks really good. And the other thing is this molding. I'm not sure if you can see this surface right here. Just look at the shadows. It almost reminds me of what you'll find in hearing aids, and hearing aids, as you know, is usually customized to your ear. So this gives me at least the impression of something made to order, like it's personal to me. So that's a nice little touch. It almost makes it extra special in that way. And in the business end of these earbuds are dual drivers that are tuned by AKG, which might seem really special because, you know, it's a nice, cool brand and everyone knows about them and they're like award-winning. But once you dig down deeper, you'll find out that here's a little anecdote that AKG is owned by Harman of Harman Kardon fame, who are also owned by Samsung. So it's all in-house built. But that's cool. I mean, it does play really well to the sound quality, and AKG really knows how to tune stuff. In terms of sound, unfortunately, these guys do not support at the moment aptX, but it does support AAC, SBC, SSC, FBI, DOT, and maybe even COVID-19, but it doesn't have aptX. And I know some of you are sticklers about that. Why doesn't it have aptX HD or low latency? But I can tell you from my listening experience, it's really not wanting. With a good Bluetooth connection and with pretty darn good tuning, the sound quality is good. I mean, it would be nice to hear the difference with aptX support. So Samsung, maybe you can turn this on at some point. I'm not sure if it's hardware enabled for this case, but it's pretty darn good for what it is. So yes, something to bear in mind, no aptX. These guys also support Bluetooth multi-point connection, but the caveat is only if you have a Samsung product, which the practice almost sounds like a certain fruit company that rhymes with pineapple. Yes. And on the sides here, you have the gesture pad that has 1 or 2 taps and also hold. And if you turn on a special feature in the lab section of the app, you can turn on you can tap the top surface here to also change volume right up here. To handle phone calls and pass-through sound, there are 3 microphones on each bud, 1 here, 1 at the top, and 1 between all the charging contacts if you see there. The earbuds are really nice and soft. They're made of silicone, easy to pop off and easy to put on as well. Let's see if it works this time for me. It's always harder to do it on camera. And the ear tips also are really nice to install and easy. They're thanks to this little locking nub right there that aligns it pretty well. It only comes with small, medium, large sizes for each of them. Not a huge selection, but with these being small, it was not hard to find a good fit. These guys are roughly the same size as the first generation Galaxy Buds, but somehow Samsung managed to fit a larger capacity battery into these, so they last 11 hours now per charge. This is pretty impressive listening time. And I think it was like, what, 38% larger capacity in these little size things? I'm impressed. Alright, let's look at the case. We have Samsung tuned by AKG branding right there, and in this baby blue is really nice and attractive. And also, if you notice, there's not one single grippy surface on this thing. It's as slippery as a bar of soap, so something to be mindful, but thankfully they're easy to hold in one hand and not slip out of it. The plastics also are really high quality. I've thrown these in my pockets many times and backpack, and I don't see any significant scratches, if at all, or even spider webbing for that matter. The other thing, the lid is nice and strong, it's heavy. Some of you might like a little bit more spring to it, but it feels nice and solid to me. Oh, the other thing you might be interested in is the cavity itself, where the earbuds sit. If, say, you fit large ear tips and wing tips onto these, they do still charge, unlike some other brands where you still have issues closing it or charging for that matter. The indicator light for charging is right there, and here's another LED light for the battery case battery level. Now, here's the hard part about it. You put it in to charge, it tells you, but you can't tell if it's still charging when it's closed. You only can tell battery level here. So, I don't know why they did that. Another thing that threw me off when I first opened the box was this, the left and right indicators. They do look like buttons, don't they? It felt like something I could press to pair or something like that, or some other cool feature, but it does nothing. It's just a nice little, element right there that does nothing. But The other thing is also, yes, USB charging and Qi charging coils down below. Oh, one downside though, the magnets in these things are not strong. I shake it, I do my usual shake test, they come right off. Oh, it fell down. Crap, in the mud. Alright guys, here's the app for the Galaxy Buds Plus. Call, wouldn't you know it, Galaxy. It's not very creative, but that's what you got. Before you can connect the buds with the app, you have to install a plugin, by the way, so just thought you know that. Here in the dashboard, you'll see the battery levels for each bud and the battery case, which is nice and handy. And right below this is the toggle switch for the ambient sound, which you can by default do low, medium, high. And in the labs, you can actually turn on the fourth volume right here in case you're interested, and I'll show you in a bit how to do that. And right below that is the all-important equalizer. Unfortunately, you cannot equalize or customize your own equalizer. There are 6 presets, and I found that dynamic really wakes up the earbuds. You should test that out and let me know down in comments down below to see if it really works for you. Notifications, you can turn it on and off. And in touchpad customization, unfortunately, there's only one element that you can change, which is the touch and hold. The rest is all stuck at presets. I mean, overall the gestures are really well implemented, so that's not much of a fuss right there. Here in the advanced section, you can turn on ambient sound during calls or not. And here is a nice feature of finding my buds. It plays a loud high-pitched sound to help you find your buds. Make sure you don't have that in your ear when you test it out. Down here at the bottom you see labs, and here is some cool features that you can play with. First one is you can turn on double tap on the earbud edge to adjust your volume up or down, which is pretty sensitive actually. It's not bad. And here is where you turn on that extra high level for ambient volume. And this is the app itself. The software updates come quick and fast when they're available, and that's one cool thing. And it's really nice and polished, all in one screen, really easy to navigate. Well done, Samsung. Alright, we're going to test the Bluetooth distance here. I have some tunes playing on Spotify. I'm going to put the phone down on the end of my deck right here, and I'm going to keep walking this way. And my guess, since this is Bluetooth 5.0 and pretty much standard fare, we're going to hit like 25 feet, roughly 30 before this thing starts breaking up. And also, usually line of sight is fine, but once it rounds around a corner, sure enough, it's already breaking up on both earbuds. And then when I get around the corner again, line of sight, right there, it's back. Music is playing again. So Bluetooth 5.0, for what it's worth, it's fine at this distance. Not bad, but not, you know, industry beating or anything like that. So I'm going to interject here real quick and ask for your help. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel by clicking the subscribe button down below and the bell notification. This helps me get you more videos to you that you like to watch. Anyways, thanks for your help. Back to the program. Alright guys, let's jump to the positives. And the first one is gestures. And yes, I know I always bash on how much I hate gestures in general in earbuds, but on a Galaxy Buds Plus, they're surprisingly well implemented to the point that I'll probably give it like an A++. I'll dare to do it, an A++ for the Buds Plus. The sensitivity is pretty spot on. The response time, I can tap it right now and it immediately responds. And there's also audible response in the earbuds for everything you do. You tap to play or volume up, volume down. There's a really nice audible response to everything. Like the Amazon Echo Buds that I tested a while back, there's not really as much response to every single tap, only certain things, and the response time was kind of delayed. In this case, is pretty good. And the controls, they have everything: single tap, double tap, triple tap, tap to hold. And if you go to the labs section of the Galaxy app, there's a little function that I wish they'll implement it permanently instead of an experiment, is tapping the top of the earbuds to change your volume, which is really good actually. It works really well. I can do this right now. It's beeping like crazy. But that solves the problem of me having to tap the side of my earbuds to think that it makes me think that I'm pressing it deeper into my ear. This really works, and it doesn't dislodge the earbud. This is great. So there's almost like 4 different kinds of control options: single, double, triple, hold, and top tap. That's pretty darn awesome. Alright, in terms of sound quality, I've heard the whole gamut online, and I've heard people hate on it, and it's probably because they're audiophiles or they're first generation owners who don't want to upgrade. And I've heard people being enamored by them, and they're probably just comparing it fairly with the first gen. And I'm going to stick with that camp because the Buds Plus improve on the first gen in a lot of ways. For $150, there's probably one word that comes to mind every time I listen to these is clarity. They're one of the clearest earbuds that I've heard in a long time, and it says a lot. Now, some might say that the first gen, and it is true, the first gen is a little bit warmer, but it lacks a lot of the detail of the new ones. These guys are a little bit cold and clinical, but I like these in general as an overall listening experience. One of my test songs this time was Massive Attack's Unfinished Symphony, and you know how demanding this song is in the low and the mids especially. Now, these guys struggle a little bit in the mids when it comes to Shayna in the beginning singing her part and then coming in with the trip hop cymbals. In good earphones and headphones and whatever drivers, these two can be heard distinctly separate, but in these earbuds they kind of melded together, so they do struggle. Now in the bass portion, these guys hit low, man. They do hit, but they lack authority at the lowest of the low. So that's my only gripe about it, but overall these guys are powerful and good. In terms of amperage too, it drives really well. You don't need a full volume to hear all of the good stuff. You can be at mid volume and they're strong enough. I really like the sound quality of this. I was very surprised. I wasn't expecting to like them because they're tiny, but they're good. And speaking of small, I love how compact these things are. They barely protrude out of your ears and your head, and they're so light to wear. At 3.6 grams per earbud, they're lighter than squirrel feathers. I can wear this all day and not even hurt my ears at all. Now, one of the selling points of the Buds Plus is its battery life. 11 hours, get that guys, 11 hours, and it's pretty darn amazing, and it works. 11 hours of listening time here, and to top up another 11 in the battery case. On paper, I don't even have to put them back in the charger all week. They just last and last between workouts and work sessions and listening sessions. But in reality, I do put them back in the case, which now begs the question, do I really need 11 hours or is it just marketing hoo-ha? Because most of the time with quick charge, you can just pop this back in, pop the suckers back in here. 15 minutes will give you 2 or 3 hours top-up time. Most flights don't last 11 hours. Most work days don't last 11 hours. And you have breaks in between. All you have to do during breaks, pop them back in. So from a usage model point of view, you don't really spend 11 hours straight with these. It's nice and comforting to know that these guys will last and last, but you're always going to put it back in the case anyway. So is 11 hours really necessary? I think it's just marketing. So a couple weeks ago, I reviewed the Jabra 85H headphones and oh, what? You haven't seen it? You should pause this right now and just go check it out. Yeah, we'll wait for you. Yes, it is a really good video. Trust me, I made it, so it probably is good. Shameless plug. But go check that out first for context and, research. Anyways, the Polish app on the Jabra was really good. I mean, it was really good to use. And on the Samsung Galaxy, they call them the Samsung Galaxy app. It's no different. You can tell they spend many years on this, and everything is their material design. Everything is where they need to be. The only place that I think they can improve is having tunable EQs. Right now, they just have 6 presets, and I wish they had more tunability in that case. But other than that, this app rocks, man. I like using it. Everything is on one page. You don't have to scroll very far to get to things. And so it's a thumbs up in my book. So with all that said, I give the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus a thumbs up. These guys are awesome. Samsung fixed a lot of problems that existed in the first generation and made it a whole lot better. Although, with the third generation, I hope they bring in better waterproofing or water resistance and maybe a slightly cheaper price. Even at $150, these guys are a good buy. But if you can wait for discounts, and they're coming up, if they can hit the magic under $100 mark, these would be a great buy. So Christmas time, these are gonna be hot gifts right here. So anyways, let's move on to the end of this thing. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. It was a blast. And there are a couple ways that you can help me bring you more content like this if you enjoy it. First is if you can visit my Patreon page down here somewhere and you can find out ways you can support it. And if you haven't already, you can click the subscribe button down below here and just kill that button and turn on the bell notification button. That'll be super awesome and super helpful. So thank you in advance. Oh, and speaking of thumbs up, remember to thumbs up if you like this video. Yes. And thumbs down. Thumbs down if you go to one of those fast food restaurants nowadays that have gone all paperless and you've done your business, you've washed your hands nicely with soap and then you're drying your hands with the air blade or air blowers nowadays. And next to you, you see someone who's just handled their junk and they just exit the bathroom. Thumbs down to those not that person necessarily, but thumbs down to the restaurants that have stopped giving you options. Now it's just air blowers or none at all. I don't have an option to use napkins to get out the door, that the handle now that has germs and bacteria and viruses and whatnot. Thumbs down to that. So reinstate paper towels, guys. We need it. Anyways, that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Remember to take care of yourself. Be hygienic. Wash your hands for 30 seconds with soap. And do the best you can to protect each other. But at the end of the day, as I always say, help somebody and do something nice. And I love you guys. Catch you next time. Peace. Whoosh.